Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're feeling good, hope you've had a wonderful week and looking forward to the weekend ahead. Today, what I thought I'd bring to you is some back strengthening exercises and stretches. Basically, I know so many people have been sitting around too much, they're in the wrong desk space. I keep saying this, but it's exactly what's going on at the moment particularly. So I thought next week for my classes and my groups, I'm going to be focusing on back strengthening, so I'll give you a little taster of that right now. So we're going to spend 15 minutes mobilising, stretching and strengthening our spines. So up you get, come on, up you get and join in. It'll feel good, it's not strenuous, it's going to be really nice and really beneficial. Let's get started then. So first thing you've got to ask yourself always, are you feeling alright today? Give yourself a little screening. Just decide how your back is actually feeling and listen out for my teaching points. I always run through them meticulously. I pride myself on that. So really listen out for those. Okay, so getting ourselves into neutral position. Feet hip width apart from the bones here. Then lengthen up. So imagine you're being pulled up by a piece of string. Roll the shoulders back and down. And then tilt your pelvises forward and back. Wonderful. Tilt those pelvises, loosening up the hip flexors and then finding the middle position. So not forward, not back. Tuck your butt under a little bit for the middle of the two extremes. Then take a breath, expanding your ribs laterally. And as you exhale, brace your core towards your spine. Draw the muscles in and pinch your pelvic floor. Fabulous. So we're going to start with a gentle sway, just clearing your minds just for a moment and getting ready for these few exercises ahead. So we're here and we're going to make our spines feel good. Lovely. And side to side, lengthening up, bracing your core and pinching your pelvic floor as you sway a little bit too far over to the side. Excellent. And then round in a circle. Use that core to stabilise yourself, preventing yourself from falling over. And the other way. Lovely. Just a moment there. Now, my favourite mobilisation exercise is the figure of 8. So go wide on your stance and just swing those hips. You're still bracing your core in and you're still pinching your pelvic floor. And already I know if you were sitting down and you've jumped up, you are going to be feeling much better just to get a bit of movement through the spine. Excellent. Then standing back in neutral, a very gentle twist. So I'm going to work on some upper back exercises first before we get down onto the mat. So just a little bit more mobilisation round the shoulders. So hoist those shoulders up to your ears and back. And do share this video with anyone that you think really might be needing this. I know there's people that will be really aching. We do in everyday life anyway, don't we, if we don't look after our spines. Joseph Pilates said, don't ask someone how old they are, ask them how their spine is feeling. You know, sometimes you hear people go, oh, I feel 100 today. That's because their back is hurting, their back's aching. So you feel young and amazing if your back feels good. Right, so I'm taking the arms up now and I'm bracing the core as I go up, not letting my back arch as I do so. Lovely, and then we're going to stretch up to the ceiling. So lengthening and elongating the spine at this point. Bracing your core in and pinching your pelvic floor. And not letting the back arch. So for people that are watching this and you've got a weaker back, okay, arching is not great. So concentrate on bracing your core in and pinching the pelvic floor. And we'll be good. Then take your arms back behind you and lift them up. So again, without arching. Don't do this. Stay in neutral and lift the arms. So we're just stretching the chest. Right, so a little bit of upper back strengthening. Arms up to the ceiling, bring them back behind you. Then we're going to go up to the ceiling and down behind you. So up and back. And I did show you this move earlier in the week, if you saw it. So we're going up and then down, up, then back. So it's called a VW, the elbows are going behind the body, and then arms up and down. So these movements are the Alexander technique, which many people will be familiar with. So just showing you this move, keeping the arms back as you go up and down, just slightly above and below shoulder height. No need to go really high or really low, just up and back behind shoulders. That's it. Then the VW. Bring the elbows back, look, from the behind, back, strengthening all of our upper back here. And shoulders, I know some people will be wincing already at the feeling in their shoulders. Let's do 5 more combos. So 1, keep back, and 2, back, 3, back, 4, keep them back, and 5. Fab. Okay, now hug the sun. So round your upper back, bend the elbows, and round, and push forward, feeling that wonderful stretch in your upper back. Great. You're still bracing your core, you're still pinching your pelvic floor. So that is exactly the stretch you want to do after performing those couple of standing exercises. Now we're going to do a standing Superman. Alright, now we'll be doing Superman on all fours in a minute, but we're going to do a standing version. So for people that can't go down for whatever reason, you can still strengthen your back standing. And can you see what I'm doing here? Hand to knee, then brace your core and take the arm and leg back without letting your back arch. Now if you need to hold on to something, feel free, please do so. So hand to knee, then brace your core to take the leg back. Brace. Now what I say to my weaker back clients is if that is too much on your lower back, just take the leg out to the side instead, like this. Because like I said, as soon as you arch your back in any way, pressure is on the lower back. So we're just going to keep it simple and take the leg out to the side if you need to. Good one. Now the other side. So a few moves, and if you make, for those of you that have got really weak backs, you need to practice these exercises every day really, so don't set yourself up for too much. 5-10 minutes of any of these exercises every day, you'll really notice a difference, honestly. Physiotherapists give us all these exercises to do for a reason, and if you chip away, you'll get stronger. So inhale there and then exhale as you take the leg back without arching. Wonderful. There you go. So that's that one. Now we're going to go down. Blimey, the time's flying. I am going to be doing a full back session in my groups this week. Yeah, there's a lot of exercises. We might run over a few seconds or minutes. Right, okay, we're going to roll down. Now, weak backs, people that roll forward and feel it in their backs, you're going to just get straight down onto all fours. Okay, and then we're going to do a cat stretch. Not lowering too low, but just doing that. People that enjoy a roll down, you're going to take a breath. And as you exhale, roll down. So we're going to do 2 of these. Bending your knees if you like to take off any stiffness. Then pendulum, swinging arms. That's it, little pendulum arms. So weak backs, you're on all fours and you're doing the cat stretch. Arching up more than sinking down. Then back to neutral and brace your core in to pull yourself up like a puppet on a string. Head's the last thing up and we'll reach up. So if everybody comes up now, brace your core, stronger backs, you're going to go little back bend. Weaker backs, just stretch up. Lovely, and let's go again. Take a breath. And this time we'll all end up down on the mat. Roll down. Pendulum arms with a little bounce through the body. Wonderful. And walk your hands forward. So weaker backs that are already doing cat stretch, you can do this. Push back. So we're stretching the whole back of the body. Make sure you've got quite a good distance, but not too far. And then bend one knee, then the other. So often your back gets troubled from having tight hamstrings. So by releasing and stretching your hamstrings like this, that will help your back. Fabulous. Now on your knees. And we're going to just perform one more stretch, walking the hands round to the side. And the other way. Leaving the knees in the same position. Great, so we're walking the hands round, bracing the core, pinching the pelvic floor. So you're going round each way. Lovely stretch. And then we're going to go into our Superman. So I would say this is the single best, safest exercise to do if you've only got 5 minutes a day and you've got a really weak back. So from here, we are going to brace our cores, pinch your pelvic floor and lift one arm and the opposite leg. Now, if you're a beginner to this, you don't need to lift very high, look. You could just take the hand and foot off the mat and balance. Maybe do 5 or 6 like that. Then brace your core and swap sides. So I'm saying brace the core because we don't want this happening. Look, watch my back. We don't want your back arching. That's putting pressure on the lower back. So lift one arm and the opposite leg, nice and slowly, with control. If you've done this before and if that was going well, you can lift much higher. So let's swap now. Brace your core and swap. Brace your core, then lift. So I'm saying brace the core because it's more important to get that rather than the breathing. But if you can, you're exhaling as you brace and lift. I'm lifting the arm and leg as high as I can without letting the back arch. But you cannot go wrong with this exercise. So weaker wrists, you can just keep swapping like this because you get a moment's rest. Some of you, if you prefer, you can just keep going up and down, maybe 15, one side, and then the other. Something else that I'll show you, so let's have a little stretch for a moment. Sit back into the child's pose and really feel the stretch in your lower back as you just swing the hips side to side. You're just swinging them side to side. Great, then back onto all fours again. We're going to lift one arm and the opposite leg and we're going to kiss the knee. So you can bend under as though you're kissing the knee and then brace your core to unravel. So that's kind of the next level on this Superman. It's making you more wobbly because you're bending the head down and losing your focus on the mat there. It's making it harder. The next level would be to close your eyes and do it. So there's lots of different levels there for people that want to strengthen their backs. I can't believe that's 15 minutes. Anyway, I'm going to keep going for a moment. There are also so many exercises for strengthening our spines, face down on the mat in the prone position. And I will actually show you a few of those because they're brilliant. But if you've got a really weak, tender back, I don't like my clients getting in that position because the minute you're lying down, the pressure is on your lower back because it's making you arch. So you guys are better on all fours doing those exercises. But let's just do a couple more for you if you're a stronger person. So what I like at the moment is to put hand on hand, forehead on hands, and then you're going to brace the core, pinch the pelvic floor, squeeze the buttocks, lift the legs, this is pressure, and if you can, lift the chest with your hands raising and your forehead staying on the hands, and then slowly lower. And if you just do that really slowly and methodically, you will feel that the whole of the back of your body is fired up and you're strengthening it. But the main thing is that you never feel any lower pain, any pain in your lower backs. Just must never. So there's no point doing this and working through pain in the lower back, because you'll go off and you'll have a sore back for a week and you will not thank me. So if you're better on all fours, then back up you go. But if you can, let's do another 5 of these. So I'm going to talk you through it. Brace your core first. Pinch your pelvic floor. Squeeze the buttocks. Lift the legs and then the chest. Some of you just a tiny bit, some of you higher. If you're able to keep your tummy in, please go for it. And then lower slowly. So 3 more. Brace your core. Pinch your pelvic floor. Squeeze the buttocks. Lift the legs. Lift the chest. And if you've got a ball, you could put it between the legs, a little Pilates ball. Squeeze that as well. And then lower. Brace your core. Pinch your pelvic floor. Squeeze buttocks, legs, chest. And lower. 1 more of these. Brace, pinch, squeeze, legs, chest. And lower. And from there, let's do very like on all fours, the Superman, but from this position. And I know you can feel it's much harder on the lower back being in this prone position, but if you're able, you're going to really strengthen. And if not, you stay on all fours. Exhale as you lift and brace your core in as you lift. Lovely, so you get the gist there, don't you? Okay, we're going to brace the core and push back and sit in that child's pose position 1 more time. Rocking side to side, loosening off that lower back where we were just in that position. And we're going to finish off with a lovely recalibration sequence. So you might want to just watch it first. So we go to the child's pose, just for a couple of seconds. Then we go to a cat stretch. Once up, once down. Weaker backs not down too far. Then tuck your toes under, brace your core. Lift back into the dog stretch and then come down again. So join in. On your knees, sit back into the child's pose, stay there for 2 seconds, then on all fours for a cat stretch. Some of you going down, others not so. Then tuck your toes under, brace your core and lift up, pushing back into that dog stretch again. And then on the knees. Sit back on the heels, couple of seconds, back to all fours, draw your spine up, sink down, tuck your toes under, now brace your core before you lift up so you've got full control there, push back, let's do it 1 more time, on your knees, sit back on your heels, onto all fours, cat stretch up, some of you just the middle, others sink down, tuck your toes under, brace your core and lift up. This time, walk your hands back to your feet, dangling like a rag doll or bending knees completely if you need to come up more safely, and roll up for the final time. Until you feel a little bit taller and straighter, having stretched out and worked your spine. Great, and then a lovely swish up, bend your knees down and brace your core up. 1 more of these. And there you go. Excellent, I mean that was 21 minutes I think. I just don't know where the time goes. Really lots of work that we could do on that, but I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's one you can just pick out and spend that time doing if you feel that you've been sitting around too much or you're a bit achy, and hopefully you can share with others. Have a great day.